Snow White, the Dutch oven of movie trailers. It's sustenance for YouTubers around the globe who were biding their time, and goddammit, I know I've been waiting for this one. That's right, Disney finally grew a set and released that first full Snow White trailer they've been desperately hiding. And how'd it go for them? And the internet reacted accordingly. Yes, Disney's been treating this trailer like Zelda in Pet Sematary, keeping it hidden away from everyone out of fear and embarrassment.
And that's what she was. A dirty secret. I had to feed her sometimes. I hated it.
Seeing it now, it's hilariously obvious why. It's purified nightmare fuel, powered only by the presence of Rachel Zegler, who's winning gold in the Cringe Olympics, and executed by way of CGI abominations they call dwarfs. This trailer was ratioed into the stratosphere and experienced death by disdain, mustering 27,000 likes to 700,000 dislikes at the time of this writing. By Disney's own doing, the film itself has faced an uphill battle from the beginning, simply by virtue of being a live-action remake. Of course, watching the trailer, you'd be hard-pressed to find what is actually live action about it, but regardless, audiences have been giving Disney's bullshit remakes the cold shoulder the last few years. Not only is it live action, it's another Snow White movie. It feels like this movie's come out once a year for 12 years straight at this point. Then controversy after hilarious controversy followed, and I haven't been able to keep the smile off my face. From the star of the movie attempting to kill her own career, to the company wrecking its own project trying to cater to morons, I can't keep my eyes off this thing. The production of Snow White is the picture-perfect Urban Dictionary definition of a train wreck. Every step of the way has been a disaster heretofore unheard of in the film industry. A series of missteps so bad you couldn't write a funnier disaster piece. I could probably write 20 minutes worth of insults, but I figured we should actually get into breaking down this yikes emoji of movie trailers. This may be the end times, but we're going out laughing. Before we get into it, let me LA Knight this thing and talk to you about today's sponsor. And I timestamped this bitch so you can skip it, but I appreciate the shit out of you if you watch it. The sponsor of today's video is Raycon, everyday earbuds that can make a great gift this holiday season. Their sound quality and comfort match the high standards set by the industry at half the price of the other guys. Raycon earbuds are feature-packed, starting with an incredible 32-hour battery life. Plenty of time to use their multi-connectivity feature, useful if you have uninhibited ADHD and need to be connected to more than one device at a time. They have active noise cancellation too, which is excellent for focus when you need to shut everyone else up, but you can't actively tell them to. I think like a lot of people, I have a lot of other headphones, but since Raycon sent me these, they've become my gym set since they're sweat resistant and the sound quality is still great. They also come in a variety of colors, and I got the blue because, obviously, you've seen the Avatar, you get the idea. Good color, that blue. Because of their affordability combined with the sound quality, Raycon earbuds are an excellent stocking stuffer. You can't go wrong even giving these things as a set of backup headphones. Best of all, if the recipient isn't pleased, they offer a 30-day happiness guarantee and easy returns. Go to buyraycon.com/moviecynic to save big this holiday season and get up to 25% off site-wide. That's right, you'll get up to 25% off everything on Raycon's website when you go to buyraycon.com/moviecynic. Thanks to Raycon for sponsoring this video, and now back to my literal nightmare. We start with narration by the Cringe Factory Zegler, explaining to us that she lived in a once fair kingdom before the queen, played by Gal Gadot, stepped in and ruined it. Gadot seems to be giving it her all, meaning she's there at least. I saw someone on Twitter say even in the movie poster, Gal Gadot looks like she can't act.
Take him away!
Your Majesty.
What did you say?
Oh god, it's Kal-El all over again.
Kal-El, no! Kal-El, no! Kal-El, no! Kal-El, no! The people need some kindness.
I really don't remember you being this opinionated.
There it is.
It's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true.
When major would-be blockbusters get injected with this much modernity, you can only laugh at it best and cringe at worst. They highlighted this line for a reason, and there's no winning for anyone here with this sort of tomfoolery. You can't fool anyone anymore. We've seen multiple multiple female leads become obnoxious, unlikable girl bosses 100 times over in the last 8 years. We fucking get it. These characters suck, and Snow White's about to be the latest in a long line of spiteful characters people hope to forget. But I'm here to remind you of them. Never forget what they did to movie theater screens across the world. Now, with that being said, that issue alone is enough to bring any production to a Harvey Weinstein knee level. But not shockingly, it's the least of this trailer's problems. The Queen asks the mirror, who's the fairest of them all? And naturally, it's a... Wait a minute, she's jealous of...
Right.
They changed it from meaning her physical beauty to who's the nicest of them all so as to not offend anyone.
This is shit! This is a table of shit!
Snow Off-White is informed through a Stephen Hawking level of stilted line delivery. The Queen is evil, so you need to flee into the woods.
The Queen is evil. You must flee into the woods.
And so she does, winding up on a green screen, standing in for a forest and some shitty CGI. Well, the turtle's fun, I guess. She comes off like the first actor to fake interact with CGI, and we're off to the races. She breaks into someone's house for no discernible reason and takes a nap. In the original, it was because she was escaping from the huntsman and repays the need for shelter with cleaning the home. Here, she's just a snoopy criminal, and then we see whatever the fuck these things are.
Oh my god. What the fuck is going on?
Wait.
It's a human.
What did you think I was?
Nothing. Ghost.
They let her know she can stay and be protected from the Queen, and apparently modernity strikes again. She's going on the offense in this remake.
The Queen stole everything from all of us.
We're gonna need your help.
It's time to restore our kingdom.
Fun. So this one's going to be a little less Snow White and a little more Sarah Connor without the excellent execution. We get to see more of what Disney calls lavish production design, or what I call generic CGI color smears.
This is our kingdom, and now we're here to take it back.
You were saying.
We even get glimpses of the prince, who in the original is responsible for reviving Snow White, but it does not look that way here. And we end up with some line delivery from the Queen in disguise as the old hag, who looks like she's wearing a Snapchat filter. The problems with this movie look to be plentiful, and where else to start on this debacle other than the dwarfs? Holy God, the dwarf situation is a prime example of a studio trying to be so progressive it stuck its head up its own conglomerate ass. A classic case of doublethink. The trouble you see on screen started in pre-production. Peter Dinklage called out Disney when the movie was announced, saying they weren't being progressive enough. He was taken aback by the studio's celebration of casting a Latina lead, even as it revisits, and I quote, a problematic representation of dwarfs. Take a step back and look at what you're doing there. It makes no sense to me, he said, about an hour into an 80-minute podcast episode.
You're progressive in one way, but you're still making that fucking backward story of 7 dwarves living in a cave. What the are you doing, man?
Peter Dinklage isn't feeling Disney's upcoming live-action remake of Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs.
There's a lot of hypocrisy going on, I gotta say, from being somebody who's a little bit unique.
Disney took this criticism to their proverbial heart and decided to go full DEI. They cast a diverse cast of actors of average height to play the characters. But that's the problem with living in constant doublethink. In an attempt to be as progressive as possible, they completely eliminated 7 high-profile acting jobs for actors with dwarfism. Yes, to make sure they weren't offending little people by having them on screen, they eliminated them entirely. It wasn't until images leaked of the diverse cast of regular old actors that Disney was forced to change things again, this time to the CGI monstrosities we see today. This entire thing meant the movie was doomed from the start, puking all over itself from the beginning, but it only gets worse from there. One thing I found particularly comical is having to suspend my disbelief that Gal Gadot, poor at her job as she is somehow jealous of Rachel Zegler, and that's the crux of the entire plot. No, it's not about her beauty, but still, it's ridiculous all the same. Gal Gadot in general is a problem. She's here because she's a well-known name, but other than that, she doesn't bring anything to the table. In order for her to compete with Zegler, her appearance is even muted, making the Queen look as bland as the acting pouring out of her. You'd think they want to hire someone with charisma to play such a classic, bold villain like the Queen in Snow White, and the hire of Gadot should certainly dispel any notion of an attempt at artistry here. The budget probably isn't fooling anyone at $240 million, but when you hire Gal Gadot, this is a commercial production through and through, not a piece of art. It's the grand central of cash grabs. Another sign? They've clearly followed through on modernizing Snow White, a movie that that definitely needed that. Rachel Zegler wasn't kidding on that red carpet when she said they'd be updating this movie for modern audiences, gleefully claiming that Snow White would be a girl boss in this one, like that's something audiences would actually cheer for anymore. We won't know for certain until the movie hits theaters in March, but the picture is being painted in the trailer that she'll be taking the fight to the queen, instead of being that charming bit of innocence in the world that brightens the lives of those around her. No, she's a determined woman who needs not a prince and loves to tell others how to clean up the mess she made. You'd think after seeing these things fail time and again with audiences, Disney would catch on and put a stop to this sort of trash, but they're the people who think Rey is the best bet for their Star Wars brand, so no. The trailer also showcases how the film is going to look, which is like complete shit. It bounces back and forth between two things, providing rocket fuel to nightmares and blurry, shitty CGI blandness. On one hand, you have the horror of the dwarfs, the final draft of Disney's attempt at erasing real people, and on the other, you have the cinematography you could pick from seemingly any other Disney live-action remake. The gritty filter is applied to a number of shots, giving it that bland, everything has to look the same feel that Disney movies have. What the movie has going for it is at least Zegler can sing, which is key to a film like this, but she's also the biggest problem to this movie outside of its actual production. First, it started with her being cringe on that red carpet I mentioned, and really anytime she would speak.
True love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be. I'm a narcissist. Original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so.
Okay.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird. And then it became like, I will elbow everyone out of the way to play the part. That people will assume is a love story just because like we cast a guy in the movie, right. Andrew Burnap. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
I say, if I'm gonna stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
And we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be. I'm a narcissist.
These rants completely blew up in her face, and coupled with the finger point and laugh response to the behind-the-scenes leaks, Disney was forced to push the release date and go back to the drawing board. After a while, it seemed like Disney's PR team got a hold of Zegler, a young actress who memorized the politically correct Hollywood talking points like they were lines from a movie script. During a follow-up discussion, Zegler went from criticizing the original film for its patriarchal structure to praising it for being a classic and groundbreaker. She went from showing disdain for the character she was playing to saying how wonderful it was to play such an iconic role. It seemed like redemption was underway. The lead actress wasn't vomiting all over herself anymore, and the movie was back in production with a new direction. Except that didn't last very long at all. Once the teaser trailer dropped earlier this year, the movie became an instant internet laughingstock. Those dwarfs, man, god damn are they terrifying. From the opening frames, it's obvious this movie is everything wrong with modern-day Hollywood productions. Its overinflated budget, its star with an overinflated ego, the decision to fix the writing of a classic tale, the fact that it's the latest example that Disney has completely run out of ideas and have reserved themselves to remaking their own movies. Everything about this movie comes off as a pathetic cash grab that shit itself from the outset. But the best is the latest. It seems like Disney's been actively trying to hide this trailer from the public, and after seeing the reaction to it, it's obvious they knew they had a stinker on their hands. And like a crackhead fiending, you can't hold Rachel Zegler back from her fix for long. Attention is what she needs, and goddammit, she's gonna get it. Continuing to be a cancer to the production, one that would go into remission then spring back up out of nowhere, she made a fool of herself again last month after the conclusion of the US election, putting foot in mouth and disowning half her audience. The timing couldn't be worse for Disney, as they prepped for the release of the trailer they didn't want to come out, and Zegler made an ass of herself one more time right beforehand. In the end, it's still to be seen if she will have a negative impact on the movie. On all other merits, the film seems destined to fail no matter what. At most, she'll just make a slightly bigger crater. She seems to be box office poison, starring in one film that's managed to break even but has been the centerpiece of a number of bombs recently. It seems inevitable she'll be adding another one to her list. People are fed up with remakes, reimaginings, and the typical insufferable girl boss standards of modern films. Tropes are tropes, and they get boring. It's not something just movie buffs notice now. General audiences have picked up on it, and it's grown tired of the same old, the same bland visuals, the same modern story tropes, the same smell of a cash grab. Add Snow White to the increasing list of Disney failures, a huge step back from their major hits of 2024. Maybe this one should have been a tax write-off, guys. GG's.